see pentagram. These are witch marks. It's me again. What places do you recommend I visit while in town?
You don't get to explore this place. If it doesn't devour you first, then only by the grace of God did you escape its swallow. We are surrounded by Carcassa in every direction. The Udav Mountain above us, and the Henna River and Lake Holly lay dead below. No animals live in this valley, except for the damned crows. Nothing grows or breathes inside these waters. We see death everywhere.
People still live here. It amazes me.
This is a valley of righteous men and women. We may be scared, with one foot in our graves, but we never lose faith, and we never succumb to darkness. A day will come when the light will win.
Excuse me. This drawing reminds me of an ichthys, a secret symbol of early Christians. Madam?
Hello.
You knew Yakov Prenger?
Our former priest. I knew who he was, but I never really had a chance to speak to him. Why?
I heard he went missing.
Many people still go missing, vanishing without trace, as if they never existed. I heard this about Yakov too. Sorry I couldn't tell you more, but I really don't know anything else.
Do you know anyone who could lend me a boat?
There's only one man with a boat in this town, and his name is Arsen.
Are you completely sure? The lake is huge. There should be more of them.
It's Arsen or nothing. What do you need a boat for?
I needed to get to Klek.
Beware, Klek is on the list of forbidden places. You think Victoria is there?
Could be.
Then I wish you luck. Try talking to Arsen. I think he'll help you. Swimming or going on foot would be suicide.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
Where could I get a boat?
Are you kidding me?
Why?
Just walk along the shoreline and pick one up. The town is letting people use them for free to encourage fishing.
You can't be serious. The lake is dead.
I love it!
About the boat. What can I do?
The only fool to have one is that old fisherman. Dead fisherman? I haven't seen him for a while.
Excuse me. I'm not a pest. I don't need it. Asom Tavruli at the top, and the other two are Maleus Maleficarum by Heinrich Kramer, and an unnamed manuscript by Herodotus. What a strange taste for books. A mailbox? Not sure. It looks strange. Its ropes bear some resemblance to hangman's nooses. Makes sense for a town like this. Saint Kotar, born in 1159, died in 1218. It's locked. It's an embalmed priest, decapitated. His head is laying on a golden plate.
The Vatican declared him a traitor, an ally of the evil forces. Can you imagine that?
Strange. The sculpture of Jesus is not nailed to the cross, as it should be, but rather just tied up. Father Henry?
Henry Istrator, and you are?
Benedict.
A fellow man of the cloth, certainly.
What gave me away?
Your aura. And of course, the tiny crosses on your sleeves. You were saying your name?
Benedict Dochnani.
Ah, Victoria's brother. We finally meet. What can I do for you, Brother Benedict?
You met my sister?
Did I meet her? Who knows? Do I know of her? Yes, as every person, crow, and rat in this town.
But how do you know we are relatives?
I have infinite power, and I am highly respected. When word spreads, it reaches my ears first.
I have a theory of what happened here, but I'd like to know more so that I can solidify it. You know much. Maybe you can help me.
I'm here for you, brother.
What can you tell me about the mayor of Saint Kotar?
Ranko Merzel, a lurid creature, far worse than his father ever was. Corrupt, full of sin, and unscrupulous. Gullible as well. He never saw his death coming, even though he knew he was chased by it. I was called to bless his soul before the funeral. Not going to. The very thought of it sickens me.
Who was Ranko's father?
Fran Merzel. He and our former priest, Yakov, founded Marov Asylum.
I welcomed the decision, but not anymore. Things changed quickly, and the asylum mutated into the same thing it originally tried to uproot.
And what would that be?
Maroth became an island of terror and death for the Catholic community, instead of being a shield that protects it. It was founded with the goal to heal the unfaithful ones, and more importantly, to identify, catch, and execute the Saborans. Now it's a place where our brothers and sisters go and never return from. Healthy individuals full of faith just vanish. Fran had his share of sins, but he founded Maroth with sincere intentions to help the town. Little did he know at the time the evil seeds he had planted.
Ranko was chased by death?
Nermin, his brother, the worst of the Merzo family, worst of all men, an incarnation of evil. Although coming from a Catholic family, from the day of his birth it was clear there was something dreadfully wrong with him. I don't know him well, nobody does. But everyone knows about his deeds.
Chief Norden said he is a moon ghoul.
True, he is a Saboran. Some say even the current leader of their cult. He was once incarcerated in the asylum, but managed to escape. No one can find him anymore. I guess there is not enough will. It's not about the will to find Nermin. He's just a tiny shadow in a starless sky. People in this town dread things they cannot see or feel. The unknowable. They fear it because it is everywhere God is not.
You're talking about the moon ghouls now, right?
That is just a name for the weak. Call them by their true name, the Saborans. The Saborans are not unknowable. They are an ancient tribe that glorifies death, diseases, and pain. Cannibals who cultivate morbid rituals as part of their religion. Sektra.
Sektra? I've heard that name before, somewhere.
You heard it because there was a book of the same name, the original copy of which was lost in the 15th century.
Yes, it all happened during the Valais witch trials.
Dark times fell upon that place because of the book. It vanished with its author, a witch by the name of Jadwiga Mazrak. You can see the Saborans are not a complete mystery. Things we cannot possibly understand are, my brother, the forces and entities this tribe worships. Only madness and death await those who manage to understand. It is what happened to Saint Kotar, after all. Let's leave this subject. I cannot possibly recount centuries of their history in the reasonable time I have now. Maybe one day you'll be able to read the pamphlet I've written on them. Maybe.
Tell me about the asylum's warden.
Hatur. As the head of the asylum, I know he is somehow involved in the conspiracy against the Catholics. I'm the only person in this town who openly criticizes him, the chief, and the mayor. In one way or another, they are all acting against God, and possibly fallen under the influence of the Saborans. What interests you about him?
My sister's husband went missing after visiting him at the lodge.
Nikolai. He was kidnapped. But I feel there is more you want to say.
Victoria met with Hatur last night. They talked, and I still can't understand what happened to her.
So I was right. This sheds new light on the warden and the tribe. Not so much on her.
You think my sister joined the tribe?
I do, although I don't know how. Have you seen any changes in her lately?
That is a question for her husband. After our father disappeared, I went into monkhood. Since then, I barely see her.
When things start to look bad, some people think it's God's fault. Instead of showing him more love, they turn away from him. They don't realize it is only then, when they decide to forget him, that they start to wither their own souls. Sometimes they don't just wither, but rot. Rot until it is too late to get off the path that leads to hell.
The warden is meeting with the Saborans. A boy told me.
What boy?
Anton. He saw them meeting more than once.
Our protege. I knew he had been sneaking out, just couldn't prove it.
He saw Hatur taking Nikolai away to a locality called Klek.
I've never visited that hill, but everyone knows what that place is. The boy could be right.
Victoria abandoned God. I can feel it in my heart. She did it. The same happens to our aunt. She abandoned God, turned her faith to strange beliefs, and experienced a dreadful death.
It doesn't matter what you feel and what I believe. You have to find the whole truth. It is your responsibility. Find your sister and the truth that is hiding with her. I would risk going to the stake if I had to choose whether she is guilty or not. This town has many possible sources of evil.
Where should I look for her?
Begin with Klek. You might find her there with your brother-in-law, hopefully still alive.
What other sources of evil?
Everyone, including those who impose the so-called law. Everyone could be evil, even those who claim to be faithful. Keep your eyes open.
How come there's nothing in the Vatican's official archives about Saint Kotar?
Because of Saint Kotar. This town has an open dispute with the Vatican because of him. First, they sent emissaries to execute him. Then they denied the authorities to name this town in his honor. We did what was right, named him a patron saint. The Vatican is run by a mass of hypocrites.
It's the Holy See we are talking about here. There's nothing closer to God.
Nothing closer to God? Just because they said so centuries again? How can they ignore what Kotar did here? Maybe they are now aware of their own mistakes from the past, but have done absolutely nothing to mend them.
You cannot question their decisions. It's like questioning the Bible.
Brother, let's agree we don't agree and leave it there. We have other things to worry about right now.
I've never heard of a priest talking about the church in this way. Unacceptable. But this, along with other things I've learned until now, might be enough information for Father Imre. What about your dispute with Arsen?
Where did you meet that fool?
He's my only chance to get across the lake, and
You need his boat to get to Klek. So why didn't he give it to you? He doesn't need it. He's dying due to that vampire of his.
his parents are inside the boat. Did you exhume them?
Of course I didn't. I ordered the gravekeeper to do it. Arsen and his family are not welcome here anymore. The man is not evil, merely a fool who let evil do upon him.
What vampire?
Didn't you talk to him?
I did.
And you didn't notice that hideous dark thing on his neck?
No.
That fool got himself a parasitic giant worm. A leech he named Hem.
That's disgusting. But what is the reason you banned him?
I'm telling you, it's Hem. That thing was born and found deep inside the Carcassa forest. It's evil.
Can't he just get rid of it?
Arsen believes Hem was sent to him from God. Can you believe it? He gave it a name and looks to it as his own child.
So what now? Anywhere else I could get a boat?
He is your only chance. And it seems like you are his only chance as well, if it's not too late.
What do you mean?
If he accepts to kill Hem, I promise I will think about reintegrating him and his family into our church again. But I need proof. I need to see Hem dead.
How do you expect him to kill the thing he sees as his own child?
That is the tricky part. I already tried to persuade him. Now it's your turn. If you succeed, you will get what you want.
You will just think about reintegrating him, or you will do it?
I'll do it.
Immediately after I give you a dead Hem.
I promise.
A man that goes by the name Yakov Prenger. Was he a former priest of this church?
He preceded me. Why?
I heard he went missing.
True. He was the warden of the asylum before Ranko became mayor. Then, one night, he just disappeared.
Any ideas what happened to him?
He was kidnapped by the Saborans and became their prey. The usual for this town. The new warden got him imprisoned because he knew too much? Or maybe that poor blind lady killed him because he couldn't love her the way she loved him. It's a mystery.
Was he a good warden?
Better than Hatur? Yes. Good? No. He was too soft and hesitant. We could have done so much more regarding the war against the Saborans.
Seems to me you're holding a grudge against him. Am I wrong?
We never liked each other. He was sent by the Vatican to take my place here. The Vatican, which for centuries never tried to contact anyone in this town, sends a man to take my seat? I could do nothing but step down. Yes, I hated him as much as I hate the Vatican. And I'm grateful to whoever made him disappear.
Excuse me.
Of course.
I can see the school from here. I'm not going in. It's the district Arsene told me to stay away from. It's me again. I talked to Henry about the dispute.
And? Is he going to remove the ban?
What is the reason he banned you in the first place?
I don't know.
Could you please step outside so I can see you better?
No. It's safer in here.
May I come in then?
You are not family.
Step outside, please.
We talked before and you didn't ask me that. Why is it so important now?
Henry gave me something for you. I want to see you under the light while giving it to you. Henry is willing to unban you.
Is he? Really?
Yes, I will tell you all about our conversation, but you have to come outside.
I don't see the point, but if it's going to save my family... Now, what do you have to show me?
God, that leech thing on his neck is hideous. That is Hem. I never imagined a leech could get so big. Henry was right. The vampire thing is sucking the life out of this poor, naive man. I have to persuade him to give it to me. Arson, we have to talk about your child.
You stay away from him. Is this why you wanted me out here? Stay away.
Calm down. I'm not going to do anything to him, I promise.
What do you want then?
Where did you find Hem?
I didn't find him. He found me. Years ago, I helped a young detective with a case he was working on. He then showed gratitude by giving me a bucket full of leeches. And there he was. My little Hem. I'm so proud of him. He has grown much since that day. God bless that detective.
It was Detective Mostov?
I believe that was his name. Martin. Why?
Just curious. How did you help him?
We went on a tour of the lake. I showed him some places, but he was mostly interested in the island of the asylum.
Did he say why he was interested in the island?
Something about a runaway. I don't know.
Henry told me Hem was born in the Carcassa forest.
That doesn't mean he's evil. Henry thinks anything that grows or lives in that forest must be tainted.
And so out of all the leeches you had, you picked the exact one that became Hem.
He picked me. He crawled his way out of the bucket, moved onto my left hand, and then all the way up to my neck. His favorite spot, where he sleeps and eats.
How's your health?
Are you a doctor now?
I've noticed you have trouble breathing, and your skin has no color. Have you had this problem for a long time?
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel fine.
Didn't you say before you are too weak to board the boat?
The love of my child gives me strength and positivity. But I would feel better if I was allowed to attend masses again. And if my house would be blessed as it was before the ban.
I have an idea how we can solve your dispute with Henry.
I'm listening.
You have to give me Hem.
What? Forget it! Stay away!
Remember, I'm in the service of God. You have my word, I won't hurt your child.
He will die without my blood!
No, he won't, and you know that. How long do you think he can live without you? And be honest with me, it's your family at stake here.
Maybe just for one night.
This is the only way to get you absolved, but I need guidance from you.
What guidance?
And you have to keep our little secret to yourself.
I don't like this.
The plan is to find a leech similar to your Hem. For that to work, I'd need your guidance. Where can I find one?
Why do you need him then?
So I can compare him to his potential clone. Henry seems like a clever man, and surely he remembers Hem's appearance very well.
My dear child in the hands of a stranger. I can't do this.
As soon as I find his double, I will return Hem safely to you.
And then what?
I will bring the double to Henry, claiming it's Hem. All you will have to do from then on is hide Hem when you are near Henry.
You intend to lie to a man of God?
It's for a greater good. God will understand. Do you want to live?
If I die, Hem dies. I cannot let that happen. Your proposal seems like the only way out of this situation. My dear child in the hands of a stranger. I can't do this. Farewell. I'll wait for you here. The house is lonely without you.
Don't be sad. You did what had to be done.
God bless him.
Where can I find his double?
I've never been inside the forest, but Ida told me once she found a place full of leeches. I believe it's where the detective found him. You must go through the wall of crosses and turn left at the crossroads. His brothers and sisters should be there, where Holly meets Hannah.
Hannah is the river?
It is. Keep him safe and get him back as soon as possible.
I will.
Let me say it again. Beware of the forest. It's easy to get lost in that malignant place.
What should I do now? Should I kill him? Or find his double and kill it instead? Whatever I decide, God will understand. Dark times require immoral acts. Excuse me. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. I think this is the place Arsene told me about. It's swarming with leeches. How am I going to find one similar enough to him? They all look the same. Right. By concentrating only on the biggest ones. I don't know. Something is off with this one. Hideous. It's laying eggs right now. The size fits. This is the one. No need to search further. Evil, meet this weapon of faith! It's dead. I should give it to Henry now. Hem is dead.
Proof?
Stabbed to death.
Are you sure this is Hem?
Arson killed it in front of my eyes.
How did you manage to persuade that old fool?
Does it really matter now? It's done. The thing is rotting in hell.
Right. I have no reason to doubt the word of a fellow man of the cloth. You can go tell Arson I will come to visit him soon. His house needs to be blessed.
I will. God bless you.
Take the boat. Row towards the truth, brother. I'll keep you in my prayers and hope we'll meet again soon.
It's done. I gave Henry a dead leech from the forest. Here, take him back.
My child! Oh, how I've missed him. God bless you.
You are no longer banned from the church. Henry said he'll come by soon to bless your house.
Wonderful news. I am so grateful, stranger.
Don't forget to hide Hem from Henry and other people. You'll get yourself expelled again if you don't.
I already have an idea where I'll keep him safe. You did your part. No need to worry about me. And I did my part too. I moved my parents out of the boat and into my house. Just temporarily. Until I can move them back to their grave. Take the boat now.
How can I find Klek?
Get to the other side and then follow the shore. Once you get there, you'll know it. You really can't miss the 3 white fingers.
The boat is here, but they left. It might be too late, but I have to try. I have to get on top of that hill. God help me. Now more than ever. The dreaded Klek, with its 3 finger-like rocks. Ominous. It looks like a portal to the underworld. Khatur's boat. The inside is so dark. No, wait. It is full of blood. Damn crows! Arson's boat, which I intend to return to the old man. Klek. Crows. They are everywhere. At least a dozen circling above these finger-like rocks. I should try to find some clues where Khatur might have taken Nikolai, as quickly as possible. This rock looks like an altar. Blood. Lots of blood here. Drag marks in the blood, splattered to the right of the rock. Three triangles with a line down the middle. It's the same symbol we saw on the balcony door. 7 symbols, marks, or something else. Whatever it is, it symbolizes something malevolent. Now smaller drops. Very hard to spot. They lead towards those small rocks. I'm struggling to notice anything here, but those look like bloody fingerprints. I'm struggling. Footprints and marks of a body being dragged. Into the woods. Was Nikolai sacrificed here? I have no choice. I must follow the clues. Blood has led me here, to a watermill deep inside the woods. And I was followed the whole time. I can hear something. A very faint sound coming from down there. A small window is hidden behind this bush. That's Nikolai. He's either unconscious or dead. That massive pendulum is about to slice him in two. More blood. Wherever I go in this place, all I see is blood and death. Human skin. I still can't fathom the hate and cruelty shared among God's creations. This mechanism is making the pendulum swing. There's no other explanation. I should try to stop the wheels, but I'd need something long and strong enough to do that. I can't open it. The doorknob is missing. It's not going to work. They all look the same. A tripod structure with two triangles on top, made of twigs and tied up with a yellow plant root. It's the symbol from the house. I'm not sure if they are meant to keep the worshippers safe, or harm the sacrifice by deepening their pain. I think I'm going to throw up. But this stake could be what I need for the mechanism of the wheel. This is a nightmare. It is massive, but I think I'll manage to carry it for this short distance. You're alive!
Benedict? Come downstairs. Quickly! Come here. I'm too weak to...
Sharp enough to split a hair in two. I dare not imagine getting in the way of its swing. I can't see a thing. It looks bottomless.
How did you find me? I thought you already left town.
You can thank God for that.
There's no time. We must get out of here. I don't know where the tour is. But I fear he... No, not anymore. Please.
I'm everywhere. I see and hear everything.
Your body is yellow because of the robe, but you have a face.
My face is a mask.
Someone told me moon ghouls have yellow bodies and shadows instead of faces. So what are you?
I am the king. You, that worm at your feet, the child on the pier. You all are slaves to Kasag.
What do you want?
Where is Nermin?
I don't know that man.
More importantly, where is the book?
What book?
Get down. Crawl like a worm. Start praying to that god of yours.
Please. We only want Victoria.
You wouldn't be here if that was the case. Facing the final moments of your existence. Tell me where Nermin is, and your agony will be brief. Give me the book, and your soul will be left to wander free. Don't do it, and you will be tortured until the last drop of blood has left your body. You will be then sent to Achrizath to serve Kasag.
I know you talked to Victoria last night.
She was asked the same questions, and she refused to talk. Just like the two of you. Things would have been different for everyone if she did her part.
What part? We came in this town to find...
It hurts, I know. You should blame her.
Didn't you hear the chief of police? Victoria and Nermin have disappeared.
Norin is insignificant. A blind follower of that god of yours. You know exactly where they are hiding.
I don't know what book you're talking about. Nikolai, do you?
The Sekfra. I already told him. I don't know anything about it.
The long-lost occult book.
The original was destroyed by the Inquisition.
It was, until a new one was written, enriched with secrets beyond your earthly realm, and more powerful than your silly little Bible. You know where it is, and you know what will happen if you don't give it to me. I'm giving you the last chance to speak up. And don't try to escape. Give up the book, or tell me where it is.
I should do something, but what? God help me! Sharp enough to split a hair. I have your book.
Yes, you worthless being! You will regret Mitvare Kortsi Achrizan Twitch!
Help me tie him up.
Kasag sees you! He knows what you did!
Let's get out of here. There's another lever at the top of the stairs.
Remember, there can be only one God. nothing in this pocket. Nothing in here. Wait, interesting. A key. Maybe we'll need it.
Good idea to search him. Let's leave this place. Now.
Are you sure about this?
If I have to choose between two nightmares, I'll take the one in my head. You should get some rest too.
How did Khatur manage to take you away?
I don't know. He just appeared in front of my eyes. And then everything went dark. From then on, my mind kept phasing in and out, so... I don't remember much. Until I was awakened by these appalling screams. He was skinning a man. Alive. Impaled on a stake.
Who was that skinned man?
During one of the conscious phases, I remember seeing him in the boat. He had no skin on his face, and no eyes. It was impossible to know his identity. He was a living corpse.
What happened in the watermill?
I don't want to talk about it.
You are drained of energy. Your face is ghastly pale and you barely talk. But you don't seem physically injured. So what happened?
I'm not certain we killed him, Benedict. Can death die?
You heard his screams at the end. That man is no longer part of this reality.
I think he cursed me. He said so many words in an ancient language, and with every word that came out, there was a weight inside. It was becoming heavier, unpleasant, until unbearable. He was trying to curse my soul, Benedict. He wanted me to let it go.
You are here. You survived. Calm down now. No need to talk about it anymore. I'm going to lay on the couch downstairs. Not really. As soon as he falls asleep, I'm getting out of here.
When I close my eyes, I can still see the pendulum getting closer with each breath.
What happened in the lodge?
It was that detective. He deceived us. He pushed us into this trap. Thank God we split. We would have been both dead by now if we hadn't.
There should be no more doubt, even for you. Victoria is involved in the horrors of this place.
She's not. You heard Hatur. He said that she was asked the same questions about Nerman in a book, which means she was captured and tortured too.
That man was lying, and he never said she was tortured, just that he asked her the same questions. Why did she rent the house for 3 nights? We were supposed to leave together immediately the next day.
I don't know. She just said to me we were going to stay more. I thought she was just joking. You know her.
No, I don't know her. Not anymore. It was Lucia, the owner of this cozy house, who told me it was rented for that long. Why would she stay this long? And without telling us, if not for obscure intentions?
She's not guilty, Benedict. For God's sake, it's your sister we're talking about.
Did you know that Victoria and Khatur had a friendly conversation in the woods last night?
Who told you that?
Madame Vera, the neighbor.
In the woods?
I went in there and found fresh footprints near a mass of human remains. Can you explain that?
It could have been someone else, or that neighbor is lying.
Remember what Mostov said before letting us go? Khatur was looking for Victoria last night, before the incident at the castle.
I don't believe anyone. She had nothing to do with those atrocities.
To sum up, and please don't interrupt me. Victoria and Nerman disfigured the mayor to worship a malignant deity. I'm getting sick just by saying this, but the mayor was Nerman's father, so you can imagine what kind of monster he is. She dragged me into this town claiming that we would be staying just 1 night, but she actually rented the house for 3 nights. Did she plan to sacrifice me to her new master? Maybe even the both of us. Khatur knew her, a man who called himself the king of a cannibal tribe. Maybe she has that book he was looking for. Maybe she just didn't want to tell him where Nerman is. All I know, a man that evil would have killed her in the woods if they didn't have a mutual agenda. Victoria left God and became what our parents feared she could be. She murdered that man in the Carcassa forest, and she murdered her unborn child.
She did not. Our child is not dead.
I already saw that in our family. Victoria became what our parents feared she could become. Our aunt.
She never told me anything bad about your aunt.
She murdered her unborn child too.
Murdered? That's impossible. Victoria would never have kept such a secret from me.
Nikolai, she kept her mouth shut because she's afraid of becoming just like our aunt.
Enough. Leave. You can say whatever you want. I know my wife is just a victim in this story. She's a good person.
You should rest now. But first, let me just ask you what...
Why did you choose to stay? You don't care about your sister. Even less about me.
To find the truth. It's my responsibility to know what happened and to understand why she did it. Victoria became what our father hated. I want to know why.
Well, it couldn't be simpler. The truth is right in front of you. You're just too blind to see it. What was that you wanted to ask me?
In the watermill. You said to Hatur you came into this town to find something. What exactly? Hatur said Kasag knows what you did. What did he mean by that? Don't answer. I just wanted to see your face while asking. I'll find the truth eventually. I should pay a visit to Mostov. He has a lot to explain and surely knows more about what's going on. It's a risk going there after what happened to Hatur. And there's still the chance they could take me in. But I think I'm out of options. Ivan Kotar. His eyes are in every nook and cranny of this town. Beati qui ambulant in lege Domini. Amen to that. So many case files. It's sad when your life, your whole existence since the day you were born is reduced to a sheet of paper. Officer.
Officer Mars, stranger, do me a favor. Take a look at those two opened case files on the desk.
Why?
Just do it.
Adi Bojanic. Such a beautiful dog. Haven Elizabeth McGuire. Date of disappearance is unknown. Talked to a few officers on a few occasions, asking for directions. Was particularly interested in the mountain. Rented 2 rooms for 2 nights in the Lodge Goldian. Reasons unknown. According to the receptionist, she didn't eat nor sleep. Receptionist heard her talking to someone in the room the first night, but saw no one with her before or after. Yonkadia disappeared on March 2nd, 1982. Person last seen on a full moon night. Multiple witnesses saw him talking to a strange, tall man earlier that day. Clothes and personal belongings found in a trash bin near the railway station. Clothes were full of crow feathers and blood-stained. Analysis showed blood was of unknown animal origin. I looked at the case files. What was the point?
Remember those people? They were strangers just like you. They wander around the town, just like you. You don't get to walk safely in this valley. Saint Kotar is a dangerous place.
I know that.
They knew too, and the ones that went missing before and after them. Everyone knows, but nobody cares.
I understand. Thank you for being so thoughtful, officer.
Just doing my job. Now tell me, what made you appear in front of my desk tonight?
When did the disappearances start?
Centuries ago.
And no one did anything to stop it by now?
Hey, we are doing the best we can, even though it helps nothing. If the efforts of the Inquisition were futile, then there's not much we can really do here. Just pray, I guess.
What did the Inquisition do?
They built this building, the Grimalda Castle, and the Church of Mary in the forest. Helped to materialize God, you know. They banned the Saboran name and religion, and they hunted them. Thanks to their efforts, many followers of the vile tribe were captured and executed. But the evil is still here. It's floating in the air, it's crawling under the ground, and it's poisoning the minds.
Why not just abandon this valley then? It's irreversibly cursed.
Faith. We the Kotarians are stubborn people. We may have little possessions, but we never lack faith. And one day, a savior will come, and we will be free of the malice. It's faith that keeps us living and hoping.
There's a strange-looking mailbox outside.
Mailbox?
Yes, on the facade of the building.
Ah, that is not the mailbox. It's for the denunciations.
You let people denounce misdeeds by slipping pieces of paper into a box?
Yes, as per the decree, proof of faith.
Has this something to do with the edicts of faith from the past?
I think so. The decree was enacted years ago by our beloved mayor, God bless his soul. And I know he was a great admirer of Inquisition's methods.
I'm starting to pity the mayor. What kind of denouncements are we talking about here?
Denouncements that prove your faith to God.
More specifically?
You suspect someone to be a Saboran? You denounce him. Your neighbor shows a lack of faith. You denounce him. An old friend knew about a Saboran family but said nothing? You denounce both him and them. You must act if you love God. Otherwise, you risk being taken away.
What happens to the denounced ones?
They are taken into the asylum for further inspection and, hopefully, successful exorcism. So take this matter seriously while in town. If you meet someone unfaithful, denounce them.
Who decides if your faith is strong enough? I mean, officer, it's easy to say who is a Saboran, right? But how do you know if a believer is having a lack of faith?
I know what you're thinking, but the men who decide make no mistakes. They have integrity. The warden and his staff are good people, exemplary believers. They have the town's full confidence.
This man knows nothing about the conspiracy, or doesn't want to know about it.
Do you see the paper forms and quill by the lamp? Combine them to file a denunciation, then take the form and put it into the box outside. It's that easy to show your love for God, while at the same time making this town a safer place.
Whatever becomes of them at the asylum, I could denounce those I believe should be punished. After all, it is my duty as a man of God, and it's anonymous. I'm looking for Detective Mostov.
He's downstairs with the mayor. Wait a minute. Who are you anyway?
This man doesn't seem to know about me in the interrogation. I'd better lie.
Well?
I was sent to bless the mayor's corpse before the funeral.
Who sent you?
Father Henry.
Why? Is he alright? He always comes.
Well, no. He didn't feel well tonight, and it was an important matter that couldn't wait. So, here I am.
I agree, but you are a stranger. You don't live in Saint Kotar.
I'm a visiting priest of the Church of Saint Kotar.
I see. Alright, Father. You may go see the mayor downstairs. It's the passage behind me.
Excuse me.
Finally, Father. We were waiting on your arrival. God forgive me, but I've started with the prayers in your absence. I hope I didn't cause any harm to this man's poor soul.
You think God will forgive you for what you did to us?
Benedict? I thought I heard Henry upstairs.
It's what you thought you heard because we are already dead in your mind.
That is absolutely not true.
Then why do you look so confused and uncomfortable to see me?
It's not. I'm horrified by what was done to our mayor. Take a look at him if you wish, or we can continue talking. I must warn you though, what's hiding underneath that sheet could haunt you forever.
And I must warn you too. Henry knows I'm here, so do not try anything foolish. It must be the yellow mask the mayor was wearing when they found him in the forest.
Yellow masks are nothing but disembodied skin faces of past Saboran's victims. Colored with sulfur and then smeared with some strange kind of wax to prevent decay.
The skull was opened to take a piece of the brain out. The eyes were gouged out and the skin ripped off of his face. Dreadful. Belittling.
The worshipper took his face to create a new yellow mask, while the eyes and part of the brain were eaten as a part of the ritual.
Slit open and disemboweled.
This is what bewilders us. The heart was taken out and eaten as usual, but they never disemboweled the trunk. Strange.
Type A, Type 0. These bottles are all full of blood. I'm no expert, but I never knew blood to be taken out of corpses. Why would they do that? Answer me. Do you worship the evil and the unknown, just like the man you follow?
The man I follow?
Hatur is a Saboran.
What?
Nikolai believed you. I didn't. But still, we both fell into Hatur's trap and were almost murdered.
God, no. Are you sure? How can you be so sure? You must be lying.
Do you think I am capable of lies? A man of God never lies.
You are right. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry. I swear to God, I didn't know who he really is. I was just following orders, but I'll do whatever it takes to be forgiven. Whatever it takes, whatever God demands.
Then start showing some good faith by answering my questions. What happened last night?
What do you mean?
You were with Hatur and he was looking for Victoria. Why?
I don't know. Can't remember. Where's Hatur now?
Don't lie to me. You know the reason.
I wasn't told anything.
You're afraid of him. Hatur is no longer with us.
You killed him?
God has his ways of dealing with evil.
All right. I was just told we should find Victoria before she carries out whatever plans she had with Nermin.
Plan she had? How do you know she had a plan?
We know she met with Nermin and the cult the first time she came here.
What are you talking about? This is our first time in this place.
You didn't know? That explains a lot. She visited town a few months ago. No doubt about it, multiple witnesses saw her.
Who are the witnesses?
I know only of Lucia, the owner of the house where we found you earlier.
This means... Did Victoria stay in the same house back then?
She did. introduce herself as Petra.
Why do you think she met with Nermin in the cult back then?
You don't have to be smart to connect the pieces. She arrived just after Nermin's escape from the asylum.
The case you've been working on.
How do you know?
I had a chat with the old man at the lake.
Arsene. Good man. I regret taking his help, for it made me lose half of my brain.
Right. So is it possible Victoria helped Nermin escape? Or did she arrive here when she found out about it?
It's all connected. It must be. We're still trying to find out how. I said it before, and I'll repeat it now. It's crazy to think that your sister did all this, but if evidence leads us there, I'm sorry.
The asylum is under the control of the Saborans, isn't it?
I don't know.
So why would they imprison Nermin? It doesn't make any sense. He's one of them.
That's just a rumor Henry is trying to spread to the townspeople. No one, except for the warden and the staff, knows what's going on in the asylum. No one, not even our chief.
The more I learn about the truth, the less I can understand what happened. Did you identify the man with the yellow mask?
The castle incident?
Yes, the identity of the man that was pushed by Victoria.
We found all his, or should I say most of his body parts. Wasn't easy. He splashed and ricocheted all over the chasm. Needless to say, due to severe disfiguration, we still haven't found out who he was. Getting his identity will be tough, if not impossible.
You didn't find his hands?
We did.
Didn't you run the database against his fingerprints then?
Do you know where you are? It's like we're stuck in medieval times. We don't have a database of any sort.
For God's sake. He was wearing a yellow mask. You found his head. Don't you have his teeth?
Only what's left of them, and they can't help in any way. I know what you're asking. I'm aware of identification through dental records. But we have no dentists in town.
Even the teeth are rotting here. How can I get to the castle?
It's very easy. Going out of the station, you turn right, and then just follow the river uphill. But forget about it. Grimalda is off limits every day of the year except on October 28th, which was yesterday.
Maybe there could be some clues to who that man was. Something, anything.
That's our job, not yours. And I would never let you go there, Father. It's sealed and locked for a reason.
A sealed door won't stop me if the truth moves me in that direction. You lost part of your brain by helping Arsene. Could you tell me what happened?
I uncovered something which I wasn't supposed to. Someone learned about my discovery and tried to kill me. I still can't remember what I found and who attacked me. Heck, sometimes I can't even remember what I did yesterday. But God help me, I'll find the truth. Yes, I will.
Excuse me.
Father, could you do me a favor?
It depends on the request.
Please go upstairs and ask Officer Maz to give you the case file I handed to him earlier. I want to make things right.
You want to make things right? What do you mean?
Just trust me. Go get it. I don't want to leave the mayor now. I have to pray for his poor soul.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Father.
Detective Mostov sent me to get a case file for him.
He said nothing to me.
The one I handed you before. Give him just the note from inside.
No problem, Father.